Hey, what's happening, everybody? Brenton Plays Magic's the name of the channel. My name is Brenton. I appreciate you watching. I do appreciate everyone who has subscribed, commented on videos. Really, really do. Hopefully, we can keep the channel going and make it grow little by little. It's really casual channel. I just play decks, put up matches that might be meaningful to people, and hopefully they get a good time out of listening to me babble. Well, if you've watched videos in the past, you know that I've been on Lantern Control for several weeks now, and I posted a lot of videos showing some of the different matches and demonstrating how terrible I am at playing the deck. There's a lot of really, really good guys on the Facebook group between Canister and Randall, a lot of those guys who've got all kinds of great content when it comes to Lantern. That being said, I realize that I don't have the time to put into the reps and the leagues that you need to be playing to get really, really good at Lantern. I think Lantern is possibly the best deck in Modern if the right guy is piloting it. Look at Canister's 5-0s in the leagues. The guy is just really hard to beat, but he's one of a handful that can put up finishes like that. The rest of us, I mean, me personally, I don't have the time to get that good at the deck, and I probably never would get that good at the deck. I mean, some people are just better than others, and I would have no problem conceding that Canister's a better Magic player than me. That being said, I decided to get off Lantern for a while, still have the deck and paper, and don't plan to get rid of it. And I wanted to go back to aggro because I missed beating people down with big creatures. So, what did we go with? This guy right here. Why? Well, Affinity was an easy choice because I already had Mox Opals. And I think I bought these Opals off of MTGO when they were a little bit cheaper. Now they've gone up. They're really expensive. And already had Glimmer Voids. Those are a few bucks a piece. And so it wasn't a very expensive deck to build. I sold off part of Lantern. Basically got to build this deck by selling off 2 of my ensnaring bridges. I still got a couple other, 2 more ensnaring bridges that are in the Stopter Sword build that I'm going to play around with. I might end up getting rid of that deck. I decided it's kind of boring to play. It's okay, but the combo's kind of a little bit fragile. So, pretty standard affinity list. Excuse me. I am running the 1 copy of Throne of the God Pharaoh. And when I get it, when I draw it, it's usually always good. It always gets me an extra 3 to 5 damage. You know, sometimes you draw it and it's a dead card because you lose your creatures to discard and removal, and it's just sitting there. But those are games you're probably going to lose anyway. Outside of that, I am running 3 Galvanic Blasts and a Thoughtcast. I do like the Thoughtcast in there. S Champion is really good right now. It dodges a lot of the removal in the in Modern right now. Sideboard is pretty standard. 1 Blood Moon, a Wear and Tear, an Ancient Grudge, Surgical Thoughtseize Dispatch, all that stuff. So, I know there's lots of videos out there of people playing Affinity. So if you don't want to watch this one, I understand. A lot of people out there way better at Affinity than me. And it's been a while since I played the deck, so sometimes the hands that I keep can be a little bit sketchy. I think we'll go ahead and keep this one, though. I don't like keeping the 1-landers, but we are on the draw. We'll see what our opponent's up to. We can go Blinkmoth, Springleaf, Thopter, tap one of them for Signal Pest, and then hopefully we draw into lands. So Tron's a deck that I have been able to beat since I've been toying around with Affinity. I can usually get in there. It's usually fast enough, but it kind of just depends if he hits turn 3 Tron and what his big payoff is with hitting Tron. Another deck that I've kind of been interested in playing here lately, and we might end up going that direction here later as we get into winter. I do want to kind of put in a lot of reps with Affinity, but maybe an extra deck to play alongside Affinity is Infect, actually, because the deck looks like it's kind of started to receive some attention since the Gitaxian Probe ban. So guys are running basically the black, blue, green version, and since we lost Gitaxian Probe for that deck, they're substituting the blue shoal card, the free blue counter. Disrupting Shoal, I think is what it's called. So he stirred for Urza's Tower, Dark Steel Citadel. Okay, okay. So this is some type of Affinity deck. Excuse me, Tron build. It doesn't look like Eldrazi though. So yeah, Infect might be fun to mess around with down the road. It's a deck that kind of plays similar to Affinity. So right here, I'm kind of thinking we need to get him dead before he gets on Tron, and we're not just going to be able to do that by you know, sitting back and hitting with Signal Pests and whatnot. So let's take a turn off from attacking. We'll also get in. We'll get in for one with one of our Ornithopters. We'll tap this dude right here, play Cranial Plating, and then next turn, depending on what we draw, we can whip up a Thopter and get in a fair amount of damage. And we'll be a few turns away. It kind of just depends on what he's able to play and what his big payoff is. So he's got green. Green's one of his color choices. I don't see Dark Steel Citadel in there too often. Okay, he looks like he's on some kind of fringe build. It's more a little bit more budget oriented, kind of like the blue builds. But sometimes the blue builds are pretty good. So with one colorless up, there's the old Throne. What's funny is Throne here. Let's see if we were to play bump bump, tap Ornithopter, and play Throne. We'll have Ornithopter tapped, attacked with these two. We'll get in 1 damage right here. And then we'll have 3 creatures tapped, and so that'd be 4. Now if we equip up Cranial Plating, we get in more with the Cranial Plating. We do. But I kind of just wonder how fast is his deck? Would it pay off in the long run to? I mean, we're gonna make an extra. It'll be an extra 3 damage turn potentially. Well, if we actually draw a land, I think that's our play. I think right now we go like this. And go ahead and swing. So this is a 4 damage payoff effectively. And then next turn we will danger up with Cranial Plating and hit for, like if we do a Thopter, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 3 from Throne, and then we might be able to, if we draw a land, the appropriate land, Galvanic Blast for the win. What's he demon? Yeah, I think we're in good shape here. We just really need to draw land. So what's he pull? Okay, Scrap Trawler. Okay. So he can, no, he can't play that yet. He still doesn't have Tron. Play another little shitty artifact. When Mirror Retriever dies, return another. Okay. Yeah, I guess the Mirror Retriever is there for him to kind of just be a blocker, a chumper. He can get back stars, another stupid little artifact. Okay, Mox Opal was a great draw. Brilliant, brilliant draw. Let's go. I guess he could have like he could have some bullshit spatial contortion or something like that. It doesn't really matter. We'll run it out on Sickle Pest, and then we will get in for the beats, big beats. So it looks like we just win here. I do believe. So he'll take 3, and then we can I guess we should have done that before the end of our end step. But there are no colorless counters out there, so it doesn't matter. That was effectively turn 4 kill, which, you know, that's about what Affinity wants to be doing, you know, turn 3 or 4, ideally. He didn't put up much resistance, though. I mean, it was a slow hand on our part, and he had basically 0 interaction with us, so that was kind of an easy one. He looks to be kind of artifact heavy. I think we'll go down the Thought Cast, and I guess Etch Champion isn't so great. Right here, maybe he's got to have a big creature that's going to be kind of his big payoff guy. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like a Worm Coil Engine, or if he's just trying to set up some goofy drawn out control situation. With the Scrap Trawler, is that something that, what's Scrap Trawler do? Let's see, that's some YouTube stuff from earlier. I'm watching some Infect play right there. Some cider making. Let's see, Scrap Trawler. I know it's got some recursion stuff. Return to your hand, target artifact card. Okay. So that doesn't work for Grafdigger's Cage because, yeah, it goes back to his hand. So it allows him to recast. So we won't bring that in. Let's bring the Dispatches. I think those will be good. And Ancient Grudge. And do we want to get rid of the last champion and bring in Pitting Needle? I think we will. Although we didn't see a expedition map, it's likely because he didn't draw it, not because he doesn't have it in the deck. I mean, I've never seen a Tron list that doesn't run 4 copies. Okay. This was keepable for sure. So we could go... What all can we do here? Shitty artifact number 1 for our Tron opponent. There is the needle. Gosh, do we just needle Chromatic Star, or how good is that for him? I mean, if we shut off his access to green, then he can't stir. And if he had Expedition Map, he would have played it, right? When I played Tron, I played green-black. Liked the deck a lot. Found it to be pretty consistent. I would almost always play. I mean, I guess it kind of depends. Like, if I had 2 Tron pieces in hand and an Expedition Map, then that's turn 3 Tron, right? I mean, you get the third turn. You know, you're getting the last piece, and you can cast something small. Unless he's got Tron in hand right now. In which case the expedition map is kind of a... Well, let's start playing stuff so he doesn't think we just quit. We'll run out the Ink Moth. I guess we can go... Spring Leaf. Oh, whoops. Okay. Did I fuck anything up? No, I didn't. That's just the best we can do right here, right? Yeah. So we did have a Ornithopter at midnight. If we did, we could have played him for free, and then, yeah. So that's about the best we can do here. But next turn, we can Signal Pest into... something else. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll find out if not pitting needling the chromatic star. We'll see. We get Spire of Industry, so I guess that worked out. He whiffed on his attempt to grab Tron, and if he had Tron in hand, he would have played the second piece. I'd assume. One would assume. Let's draw a card. So, Darksteel Citadel. I guess we can go ahead and run out Spire, since we're not dependent on an artifact being out for, like, cranial plating. We can go, although it would have activated Mox Opal, we can go Signal Pest, and then go, like, this for Arcbound. Excuse me. Hold up Mox Opal if there was any need for it. Yeah, in the back of my mind, I was kind of thinking, okay, do I want to hold up the Pitting Needle for something that actually matters? He's obviously like artifact heavy. Okay, so there's the expedition map. So I just assume we run the needle out on expedition map. We might as well, right? Right. Oops. Expedition map. There we go. Yeah. I thought I knew how to spell expedition. All right, cool. So there's that. Now we can and might as well fire up our Nexus. Every once in a while, you can win with infect damage from that little guy right there. And we will be swinging with 2 Signal Pests next turn, which is pretty cool. So that will effectively be 3 infect. And if we were to get a cranial plating, we might just win. I'll have to do that math, but it would be... Yeah, so I mean, I assume anything that he's got that's good in his hand is big mana. Expedition map is off. Yeah, that card can be problematic. So he probably brought that in from board, but he's only got 2 artifacts, so he can only do 1 damage a turn. And if he wants to try to grab one of these guys right here, we can sack him to Ravager. Okay. Well, that's a good draw. So let's go blue. We'll go Master, tap, Master, bring up that duder, and we'll get in for a bunch. We should be able to just get in with, yeah, that gets us our dudes out of the way of, out of the range of his ether grid. So what do we have? You can play something for 4. Okay. So what's your payoff? You can sack both of your artifacts, which would, you know, okay. So he sacks that. It's a good idea. And he sacks that, and he plays 2 more artifacts. Scrap Trawler. Okay, so he's doing the eggs thing, but he's running Tron. Is that what that deck typically does? I don't know. I get the idea. So, okay. All right. So he just kills that. He doesn't have the... Okay, he only got 1 card in hand. Okay. We still win. Okay. And yeah, that's a wrap. So I'm not really sure what his... I guess with the Ironworks and the Scrap Trawler... yeah, he gets into some kind of mana loop and then does something. I don't know. Maybe Ether Grid was part of that loop. He taps the artifacts to deal damage and then sacks them. Does I don't know. Don't really care, but we won that one. We'll have more matches up. Thanks for watching, guys. And any tips or comments would be much appreciated as I get more and more reps in with Affinity, and hopefully, hopefully get more wins than with Lantern, because the deck's it's just easier to play. It's more straightforward. The matches are faster. You can get through more and see more. All right, thanks, guys.